Hey ho guys, it's me again. Hope you've all been keeping well. I'm back recording on the iPhone 4, which was handed me down from my sister. It's handy to record on, but it does something weird to the videos when I go to upload them, and it kind of gives really wide black borders and a really narrow middle video section. So I don't know what the hell is going on. And my Windows 10 tablet doesn't play well with uploads from the iPhone 4. So about 2 weeks back, on Sunday the 13th, I put on 3 kits all on one day. Yeah, I know. One was the St. Peter's Cream Stout, which I'm sure a lot of you will be familiar with. The other was a Mangrove Jack's all malt kit, almost all malt kit. Mangrove Jack's Great Redeemer Old Ale, and the third one was a Mangrove Jack's Lord Finster Best Bitter. Now the St. Peter's Cream Stout is a 32-pint kit. It only came with 6 grams of yeast. However, it kicked off virtually straight away, and it was actually finished before the other two. So it was actually finished in 7 days, but I left it till day 9 to bottle it, just to be sure of the FG. So St. Peter's Cream Stout, the OG was 1050 and the FG was 1016, which might seem a little high. The predicted FG was 1014, but it stayed at 1016 for 2 days in a row, so I was happy enough with that. And that gives me 4.5% ABV. Now I bottled that on the 22nd, so only 9 days after pitching the yeast. As I said, it kicked off nearly straight away. Even though there was only 20.5 litres in the FV, being a 32-pint kit, it had extremely high krausen that actually ended in a 33 litre FV. It ended up hitting the lid, even though there was only 20.5 litres in it. So, and that's from a 6 gram pack of yeast. So I'd just love to know what kind of yeast that is. I did something a little different with the St. Peter's Cream Stout, so I'm just going to run through it really quickly. I got 28 Cooper's bottles, which I primed with table sugar. I got 3 Cooper's bottles, which I primed with vanilla sugar. I got 2 1.5 litre fizzy water bottles, which I primed with vanilla sugar, and then I had 300 mils left over, which just primed with normal table sugar. Now the vanilla sugar, I got my local Lidl, and it's the type you use in your coffee or whatever. And I had been using it for about a week on my coffee before that, and the vanilla flavouring wasn't overpowering. It wasn't very fakey. So when I was bottling the St. Peter's Cream Stout, me being me, I got a mad notion to try priming some of the bottles with the vanilla sugar. The ingredients were basically vanilla flavouring and sugar, so I knew there was nothing really in there. But rather than screwing up the whole batch, I decided to just do some of it. So basically I did 3 500ml bottles with vanilla sugar, and they'll be going out as part of beer mills. I did the 2 1.5 litre bottles with vanilla sugar. I'll be keeping them myself, partly to see what the vanilla sugar tastes like, and partly to see how it performs in a bigger bottle, because I have had carbonation issues on bigger bottles before. So the vanilla sugar was added on a bottle by bottle basis at a rate of a half a teaspoon per 500ml. So I did all the vanilla sugar bottles first, and when I had all of them done, then I had 14 litres of the cream stout left over, and I added 60 grams of table sugar to that, which was dissolved in some boiling water, and bottled off the rest of the batch. Now I had quite a lot of trouble with this, so I lost, I'm not going to try and calculate it now, but I lost at least 2 litres, if not more, due to trouble. I can't get over the way that the yeast in this cream stout performed. It took off like a rocket, like extremely high krausen, but I ended up losing a lot. I mean, I'd normally expect to lose about a litre, but I must have lost somewhere between 2 and 3 litres on this one. However, so that was the St. Peter's Cream Stout, OG 1050, FG 1016, 4.5% ABV. The other two beer kits that I brewed on the same day were the Lord Finster Best Bitter and the Great Redeemer Old Ale. Now, both Mangroves Jack's yeast were both. Both of them took about 2.5 days to kick off, and both of them took a full 14 days to ferment. So I actually only ended up bottling them yesterday. The Lord Finster Best Bitter OG was 1050, the FG was 1012, giving me an ABV of 5%. I primed it with 120 grams of dark brown sugar per 23 litres, and I had roughly 23 litres on both of them to do. And I ended up getting 22 litres out of it. I only lost a litre there. The Great Redeemer Old Ale, OG was 1052, FG was 1014, again giving me 5% ABV. And again I primed it with 120 grams of dark brown sugar per 23 litres. I wanted to try something slightly different with the two of them. I mean, one's a Best Bitter and one's an Old Ale, so dark brown sugar, molasses, treacle additions would suit the styles. So I figured rather than using normal table sugar on those, I would try the dark brown sugar and maybe kind of try and match the style a bit better. I went with 120 grams per 23 litres, which is slightly higher rate than I normally use, because dark brown sugar I have found in the past often takes an extremely long time to carb up. I don't think it ferments out fully because of the molasses content, etc. So if you use 100 grams of table sugar, you probably need to use around 120 of dark brown sugar. But I figured, as I said, that whatever flavour I get off it would match the styles. So the Great Redeemer Old Ale, I got just over 22 litres out of that. So there again, I lost about a litre in it. I mean, the smallest batch out of the three that I had, and I ended up losing the most. It's true about it, however. So yeah, I just bottled the two of those yesterday. And I'll just show you, like, inside in the hot press at the moment. I have bottles in various places, and then at the back there for all the different beers. The bottles, the loose bottles left over in the hot press are basically some are for my own consumption for testers, and some are going out as beer mails. But because I've so many similar bottles floating around, I borrowed an idea from I can't remember, was it Christian Brewbeer or Ant Rogerson from the Z Germans Brewery, or who it was, but the infamous colour dot in the cap. Yeah, just so as I can keep track, because as you can imagine, with 3 batches worth of bottles of similar types floating around, and they're all relatively dark beers, it can get quite easy to get mixed up. So the St. Peter's Cream Stout is bottled about a week. I suppose in theory I could open one of those bottles this week and test it. I may try one of the ones that I have there in the hot press and see, or I may leave them until next week and do a taste test on all 3 together, even though I do know they'll be a bit on the young side. But barring what's in the press there, all the rest are inside in one place inside in the spare room. So they're basically my Christmas beers. But aside from them, and I'm trying to hold out drinking them till Christmas week, I actually don't have any more homebrew left. So this is Monday. I really need to get a kit in this week and get it on this week. In order to have drinking beer in another couple of weeks, if that makes sense. So I'm debating about getting a wheat beer kit. I'm not 100% sure. It's not really the time of the year for one. I don't know. Maybe get another bitter kit, cheap 1-can kit. If you have any suggestions, guys, stick it down in the comments below. But I'm going to leave links to all these kits below, and with the specs as well. So check it out, because Most of the time when I do these videos, I talk a load of shite and I don't make sense. Anyway guys, I'll catch you when I do the taste test video on the 3 brews, and be safe out there. Slán go forward.